I received a phone call last week from a man asking me if there was anything that I could do to help his situation with his wife. So he's very sexually interested. He wants to be making love with her very frequently, and she is less interested. And he was asking what could they do? So my answer to this is that differences of the level of sexual interest between two partners in a relationship is more subtle than simply a difference in appetite. Often, the person who's not interested or less interested in sex, it's not because they're really less interested in sex, it's just that the sexual experience they've been having to date doesn't meet their deeper longings, their deeper needs, their deeper truth. So women, for example, might find that the man is not really meeting her in the heart. He's not really caressing her, nurturing her, loving her through sex. So she loses interest because just a genital experience will eventually separate two people. It's not a connecting experience unless there is a degree of love and flow between them. So Tantra can help in these situations by supporting the man often to open his heart to love and to communicate that sensually and sexually and in other ways to his woman. What we often find is that a woman who really is loved in that way, her sexual energy will flow. Because the heart is a positive pole in a woman. The heart is where the sexual experience for a woman starts. And when the heart is touched, her sexual juices and her aliveness will come online. Sometimes the other way round, there's the woman in the relationship who's more available sexually, more interested in sex, and the man is more reticent. To generalise, what I most frequently find is that men in that situation have been hurt. They feel hurt, they feel rejected, and they don't want to engage in sex because they feel that through that they would lay themselves open to further rejection or further hurt. And so in those situations, it's an opportunity to discover what was the nature of the hurt, how can that be healed, and how can a man be less dependent on a woman's acceptance of him and his sexuality, and how can he learn to accept himself more fully so that if she has an off day and isn't interested, he is still connected to his own potency and still feels good about his own desires. Tantra is a way to really allow men and women to be even more in touch with their own selves and their own sense of self-worth. And when both partners in a relationship have a good sense of self-worth and they feel good about themselves as sexual man and sexual woman, there's less scope for hurt, for misunderstanding and for conflict, and there's generally much more sexual energy.